What's up, cards? It's your boy Dare here for an episode of Cardinal Chat. Cardinal Chat is a segment by us K-Mac production kids for students and staff to submit stuff that they think that we should talk about or just questions that want answers. Today's topic of the day is voting rights, but understanding voting rights, teenage voting rights. Long ago, American Revolution, everybody knows this, right? The colonists were mad at Parliament due to the fact that they were getting heavily taxed, but no representation in Parliament. They had no voice. Things like that. Today, people deem that to be what teenagers, mainly 16 and 17, feel like. Teenagers who are 16 and 17 and have jobs are being taxed like normal people, but they don't have a voice to speak. Not local elections, not state elections, not federal elections, you know. So today, we're going to be asking people what they think about that. Let's see. Hello, guys. We're here with Miss Hinojosa,
Hi.
and we're going to talk to her about the topic that we've been speculating. All right. So,
Okay.
Miss Hinojosa, what do you think about teenage voting rights?
Um, it's, I believe that, that's a really good question because there's several teenagers.
Okay, let me
So
phrase this. Teenagers with jobs who are 16, like 17, that age range.
that's still a very, very hot topic. This is what I think. And I'm thinking about my band kids
No.
and who they are, you know what I mean? And I'm seeing like my seniors and juniors. And a lot of them are pretty mature. So, um, seeing my seniors and having that conversation about voting this year and them not being able to because like they don't turn 18 until the following month. I saw how some of you guys were real upset that you weren't able to this year. So I think it just really, I wouldn't say 16. I think that's still a little bit too young, whether they have a job or not, because you're still kind of babies. Um, I do think that some 18-year-olds are much more mature than some 25-year-olds that I know. So I still think that 18 should be the limit. You haven't lived long enough. I think it's I think it's great that this generation is so involved. But there's more to just there's more to just living the high school world.
Okay,
Does
so
that make sense?
a question about that, because you just said, like, you still think 18 is the limit. What's the difference between 17 and 18? Like, what, like the experience-wise, what?
Um, it's it's not really experience because it's like saying what's the difference between a 49-year-old and a 50-year-old.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like the thing is that like and you won't quite understand until you become a little older, but like even myself when I think of myself as a 22-year-old, I was like a completely different person than a 25-year-old because I didn't know myself. I didn't know what I want. I didn't know the direction I wanted in life. I thought I knew. I thought I knew everything, right? But then I changed. Like your brain maturity changes a lot during that time. And I want to say from like 16 to 25, like you think you know at 16 and then you become 17 you're like no now I know, and then you become 18 you're like no but now I know who I am, but it really I truly believe that you don't become your own self until you're pretty much in your early 20s, and you won't know until you're in your early
You
20s.
gotta get the point.
Yeah.
Well, all right.
Yeah.
Thank you for your commentary.
You're welcome. This was awesome.
And we'll see you back in the next part. Hi, guys. I'm here with Laura,
Hi guys.
and we want to see what she has to say. Laura, what is your idea, or not idea, opinion on teenage voting rights, mainly 16 and 17-year-olds?
Okay. So I think it's really important that everyone has a voice in America, especially teenagers, because I feel like nowadays, like as we're progressing through and we're like modernizing, I feel like people's opinions and teens are getting more involved in politics recently. So I think the teen voting rights that should be implemented in America, and like maybe not right now, but hopefully in the future, I think we should have a better like a say. You know what I mean? Like I feel like teen voting rights, maybe the age should decrease from 18 possibly to 17, because I feel like you're mature at that age.
Okay, but what about the adults who are like, your real experience doesn't come until like you're 27 after college?
I would say to that honestly, some people, even when they're like, let's say 50s, 60s, I would say teenagers have experienced like some teenagers, they've gone through a lot of hardships in their life, and they have experiences that even adults don't go through. So
And there you have it. That is a teenager's opinion. See you for the next segment, all right? Bye. What's up, Cards? It's your boy Dare here, and today we have Donald,
Hi.
and we're going to be asking Donald a question today. Let's see what he says. Donald, what do you think about teenage voting?
I think that teenage voting should be passed because more teenagers nowadays are getting more involved in politics and the government, as can be seen through social media platforms and speaking about modern issues on social media platforms. Yeah.
Okay, but I have a question. What about the adults who's going to say no to teenage voting? What do you have to say about that? Like, what do you have for that?
I think that people who don't want teenage voting, they do have a really good point because our brains don't develop and fully develop until we're 25 years old. So and as teenagers, we still don't have that like experience of like what's happening in the real world and like how it works. So like they could say that, but like honestly, I think that we've had enough experiences like in school especially and with like this pandemic that we had to live through and stuff, and it like made us older in a sense of like we matured more.
So older and maturity, is that what, like that's what you're basing this off of, correct?
I guess so.
What's up, Cards? It's your boy Dare here, and today we have Alex.
You already know who it is.
Nobody knows. But anyways, Alex, we have a question for you today.
All right, what's the question?
What do you think about teenage voting, specifically 16 and 17-year-olds voting?
I think there are pros and cons for 16, like teenagers under than 18 voting. The pros are like teenagers today in age, they're more involved in what's going on with the real world, and they're more in tune with the news, and they're more aware of stuff going on. But the cons are also that teenagers are they're the easiest persuaded people, like among the different age groups, because they believe anything they see on the internet, and sometimes people can purposely put stuff out of context and make someone else look bad, and that's how they formulate their opinion on how they want to vote for.
Oh, fair enough. Okay, so a lot of people I've interviewed have came to the thought of maturity in teenagers. What do you have to say about that pertaining to the voting?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like teenagers are more mature because, like I said, they're more in tune in what's going on in their surroundings, and they see their older peers, discussing, and they want to be involved, so they do their due diligence in that area, and they do their research and stuff.
All right, and final question about this. What do you think about the immature adults who have voting rights versus students who are very mature that do not have voting rights?
I think they're the few bad apples of the tree that, you seem like, since they're not mature yet, what about the teenagers that they think they're mature, but they're going to grow up to be just like them? In fact, they're the bad examples for the teenagers voting.
Okay. Well, thank you, Alex, and we have our footage. Got the cameras. Now that you heard everybody else's discussion about it, now it's time for me to give you my hot take of the discussion. My take on should teenagers be able to vote is that they should, but there should be a test to test your maturity to be able to vote, because there are some immature adults and there are some immature children. There's a few bad apples in the group, so I think there should overall be a test for everyone to test if you're stable or mature enough to vote and cast decisions for the future generation. That's just my hot take on it, but I'd like to hear what y'all have to say. So DM us at MHKMac on Twitter or Instagram and let us know what you think. Bye now.